In the sleepy suburb of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns stretched like green carpets under the relentless California sun, I, Elena Vasquez, had always prided myself on being the live and let live type. My modest bungalow on Elm Street was my sanctuary, a cozy two-bedroom haven I'd inherited from my late abuela, complete with a backyard dock that kissed the lazy waters of the creek. That dock was home to my pride and joy, the Sirena, a 22-foot sailboat I'd restored with my own sweat and savings over 3 summers. She wasn't much to look at, faded blue hull scarred from adventures on the bay, but to me she was freedom bottled in fiberglass. The Willow Creek Homeowners Association, HOA, however, saw her differently. Ruled by a cabal of retirees and busybody Karens led by President Hal Beaumont, the HOA enforced rules tighter than a nun's habit. No boats on private docks, they decreed last year, citing aesthetic uniformity. I'd fought it tooth and nail at meetings, quoting bylaws and waving faded permits, but Hal's steely gaze and gavel silenced me every time. Whispers in the neighborhood said he had connections, old money, shady deals, but I dismissed them as gossip. That all changed one humid August night when the acrid smell of smoke yanked me from sleep. Stumbling to the window in my ratty pajamas, I saw flames licking the Serena's sails like a demon's tongue. Sirens wailed as neighbors gawked from their porches, but Hal? He was there first, clipboard in hand, barking orders to the fire crew about negligent storage. My boat, my baby, was reduced to a smoldering skeleton by dawn, and the police report? Arson suspected, but no leads. I knew better. Hal's parting words as he surveyed the wreckage? Maybe now you'll comply, Ms. Vasquez. Intimidation, pure and simple. But intimidation only works if you're scared. Me? I was furious, and fury has a way of sharpening the mind. Over the next week, as I nursed singed hands and a heavier heart, I started digging. Not with a shovel, but with a laptop and a grudge. Public records, old emails, financial filings. The HOA's empire was built on sand, and I was about to pull the first grain. Little did Hal know I wasn't just a boat-loving widow. I was a former forensic accountant with the IRS, retired early after busting a cartel money laundering ring. Freezing accounts? Child's play. But this was personal. As the sun set on that charred dock, I cracked my knuckles and logged into the county's online portal, my first thread in the web I was weaving to unravel their world. The Sirena was gone, but justice? She was just setting sail. The days blurred into a haze of caffeine and keystrokes as I pored over the HOA's digital footprint. Willow Creek Estates, Inc., their official entity, was a nonprofit on paper, but the filings screamed for profit greed. Dues from 150 households funneled into maintenance funds, yet our pothole-riddled streets and leaky community pool told a different tale. I cross-referenced bank statements, publicly available through California's transparency laws, with vendor invoices. Boom, discrepancies everywhere. Landscaping contracts awarded to Hal's nephew's company at triple market rates, pool repairs billed but never done, and a suspicious legal reserve that ballooned suspiciously after my last bylaw challenge. But the real kicker? A line item for consulting fees to a shadowy LLC in Nevada, owned by none other than Hal's golf buddy, ex-councilman Victor Slade. I remembered Slade from town halls, slick suits, slicker alibis. A quick dive into property records revealed the HOA owned a community asset parcel by the creek, rezoned quietly last year for recreational use. Recreational my ass. It was prime real estate for luxury condos, and the Nevada LLC. It held development rights. They were selling us out, our dues greasing the wheels for a flip that would displace half the neighborhood. My boat wasn't just a target. It was collateral in their land grab. The arson? A message to anyone sniffing too close, like me after I'd anonymously tipped the local paper about the rezoning. Rage simmered as I mapped it out on a whiteboard. Timelines, dollar flows, key players. Hal, the architect. His wife, treasurer Evelyn, the bookkeeper. Slade, the fixer. To freeze them, I needed leverage, not vigilante hacks, but legal jujitsu. I reached out to my old IRS contact, Maria, under the guise of pro bono consulting. She laughed, then listened as I laid out the fraud trail. Elena, this is bingo, but you'll need the board's sign-off for an audit. Audit? Perfect. I drafted an anonymous petition, circulated it via neighborhood Facebook group under a pseudonym, Concerned Creek Resident. Signatures poured in, folks tired of $500 annual hikes for nothing. By week's end, the petition hit 75%, triggering a special meeting. Hal's email blast called it frivolous, but bylaws were bylaws. As I hit send on my response, CCing the county clerk, I felt the first crack in their facade. The Serena's ashes still stung, but plotting their downfall? It was the best therapy money couldn't buy. The special meeting convened in the community center's stuffy hall, folding chairs scraping like accusations under fluorescent buzz. Hal Beaumont perched at the head table like a king on a thrift store throne, his liver-spotted hands gripping the gavel as if it were Excalibur. Evelyn fluttered beside him, pearls clutched like worry beads, while Slade lurked in the back, nursing a styrofoam coffee. The room hummed with murmurs. Mr. Patel from Oak Lane griping about fence fines, the Wilsons decrying pool algae. I slipped in late, notebook in hand, blending with the crowd in a bland cardigan. "Order!" Hal barked, his voice a gravelly whip. He launched into a defense. Dues up due to inflation, boat rules for safety. Lies, all of it. When the petition came up, he scoffed, "An audit? Preposterous. Our books are spotless." That's when I stood, heart pounding but voice steady. "Mr. President, as a dues-paying member, I move for full financial disclosure under Article 7. Gasps rippled. Eyes swiveled. Hal's face purpled. "Ms. Vasquez, your recent misfortune doesn't qualify you for..." "Arson qualifies me for justice," I cut in, the room erupting. He banged the gavel, but the motion passed 82-14. Evelyn's ledger would open like a rotten oyster. Post-meeting, as folks milled, Slade cornered me by the snack table. "Heard about your boat. Tragic. Drop this, Elena, for your own good." His breath reeked of bourbon. His smile threat. I smiled back saccharine. "Victor, ever heard of whistleblower protections?" He blanched, retreating. That night I escalated. Using my forensic toolkit, Excel macros I'd coded for laundering busts, I modeled their cash flow. Projections showed the Nevada LLC payout timed for November post-election. I filed a quiet complaint with the state attorney general's office, attaching redacted docs. No names yet, just enough to flag. Then the freeze play. I petitioned the county court for a temporary injunction on HOA expenditures, citing imminent fraud risk. Judge Harlan, a Creek resident himself, granted it pending audit. Dawn broke with my email to the board. Effective immediately, all accounts frozen per court order. Meeting adjourned indefinitely. Hal's reply? A sputtering voicemail. "You'll regret this, witch." Regret? No. Satisfaction? Yes. As I watched their empire teeter from my laptop glow. Word spread like wildfire through Willow Creek. No pun intended. By breakfast, group chats exploded. "HOA bankrupt? No more fines." I fielded calls from reporters, deflecting with community effort. Hal, cornered, called an emergency board huddle at his McMansion. But with funds iced, even coffee was DIY. Evelyn cracked first, spilling to her bridge club about creative accounting. Creative? Try embezzlement. I subpoenaed bank records, easy with AG backing, and uncovered the smoking gun, $250K siphoned to Slade's LLC, masked as insurance premiums. The boat torching? Traced via a sloppy receipt to a local thug, Hal's landscaper nephew's buddy. Cops, tipped anonymously, me, burner phone, raided the kid's garage, finding accelerant cans with prints. Hal's alibi? Golf with Slade, alibi shattered by GPS data from his own club app. As investigators swarmed, I rallied the neighborhood. Block party turned strategy session, potluck tables laden with tamales and tactics. "We're taking back our creek," I toasted, Sirena's salvaged compass gleaming on the banner. Petitions flew for board recall. Bylaws amendment to cap dues ban conflicts. Hal fought dirty, flyers accusing me of personal vendetta, but truth serum worked better. Evelyn flipped state's evidence, testifying to forged signatures on the rezoning deal. Slade lawyered up, but his Nevada shell cracked under federal scrutiny. Turns out IRS, thanks Maria, linked it to offshore havens. The freeze held firm, audits revealing $400K shortfall. Creditors circled, the pool guy unpaid, electricians ghosted. Cho meetings? Canceled, then commandeered by us insurgents. I nominated interim prez, kindly Mrs. Lopez, no boat but big heart. As Hal's empire crumbled, he confronted me on my porch, wild-eyed. "You destroyed everything!" "No, Hal, you torched it first." Cops hauled him away that afternoon. Arson conspiracy, fraud, the works. Willow Creek breathed freer, docks unchained, dues halved. My new boat? A sleek catamaran christened Phoenix. Vengeance sailed smooth. Rebuilding began with the thaw, literally as October rains washed ash from my dock. The injunction lifted post-audit, but the HOA was a husk, reformed under Mrs. Lopez's steady hand. No more Nevada dreams. The creek parcel reverted to public green space. Kayaks welcome. I dove into community audits, teaching neighbors QuickBooks basics over wine nights. Knowledge is the real freeze, I'd quip. Spreadsheets unthawing fears. Hal's trial loomed, a spectacle of suburban soap. Prosecutors paraded Evelyn's ledgers, my models as exhibits. Slade copped a plea, singing like a canary on Hal's golf debts, loans from dues, laundered through the boat fund. Ironic that, the torching thug? 15 months ratting on Hal for leniency. Hal himself? Facing 20, his gavel gathering dust in evidence lockup. Neighborhood bloomed. Potlucks mandatory. Fines forgiven. Boats bobbing like triumphant ducks. My Phoenix cut waves, sails full, carrying ghosts of Sirena but lighter burdens. Reflections? Power corrupts but community uncorrupts. One evening, as sunset gilded the creek, a young dad approached, new to Elm, boat trailer in tow. Heard your story. Mind if I dock here? I grinned. Welcome to Free Waters, the HOA. Rechristened Willow Creek Cooperative, voluntary, transparent. My laptop? Retired to emails and novels. But the fire? It forged me from widow to warrior. Intimidation backfired. They torched my boat. I ignited change. Flashback to the spark. My abuela's tales of barrio battles, standing against landlords with nothing but grit. Mia, fear is their fuel. Starve it with facts. She'd sailed too, a fisherwoman in Baja, nets cast against storms. Sirena was her legacy, hull etched with her prayers. Losing her felt like losing anchor until the fire. Then it was war. Digging revealed more, Hal's history, evictions in his youth, clawing to control what he couldn't own. Evelyn, trophy wife, complicit for country club keys. Slade, politician fallen, chasing kickbacks. Their intimidation? Desperation's mask. My counter? Precision strikes, petitions, filings, alliances. Each step built allies. The single mom fighting yard fines, the vet with PTSD needing quiet docks. We weren't rebels. We were reclaimers. As accounts froze, panic set in. Evelyn's bridge dissolved, Hal's golf revoked. Schadenfreude? A sip, not the bottle. Justice tasted better. Post-downfall, therapy unpacked the blaze's trauma, nightmares of flames, but dawn brought resolve. I journaled voyages, real and metaphorical, plotting courses past reefs of doubt. Willow Creek? Healed scar, stronger tissue. My boat? Symbol of resilience, hull kissed by forgiving waters. Deeper dive, the audit's underbelly. Line by line, I traced dues to dinners, Hal's steakhouse tabs as meetings, Evelyn's jewelry, gifts from vendors, Slade's yacht club dues, networking. Billions in microfrauds, our pockets picked for their pleasures. I testified, voice unwavering, charts projected like battle maps. Jury nodded. Verdict swift. Hal's sentencing, rainy day, courtroom packed. 20 years, judge intoned, for betraying trust. His glare met mine, defeat, not fire. Outside, cheers. Inside, quiet win. Media dubbed me Doc Avenger, but I waved it off. Real heroes? Neighbors, signing that first petition? Post-victory, I mentored. Workshops on bylaws, apps for tracking funds. Own your home, not their rules. Phoenix hosted sales. Therapy on waves, sharing stories under stars. One night, a teen confessed her own fire, metaphoric, bullying at school. Fight smart, I said. Facts over fists. Her smile? Worth every keystroke. Legacy? Not revenge, but empowerment. They torched to silence. I froze to amplify. Complications arose mid-freeze, a rogue board holdout trying side deals. Caught via email hack, legal, subpoenaed, I forwarded to AG. He folded, fined. Another? Developer lawsuit, claiming rezoning rights. Countersuit buried them in discovery. Lessons? Vigilance eternal. I hired a lawyer pro bono, old flame actually, rekindling sparks over case files. Romance? Secondary to reform. Community garden sprouted on the parcel, veggies over villas. Kids fished, elders napped. HOA meetings? Picnics now, votes by consensus. My role? Advisor, not autocrat. Hal's letters from prison? Begging mercy. I sent one back. Sail straight. No reply. Healing came slow, dock rebuilt, but shadows lingered. Therapy sales helped, wind whispering forgiveness. Not for them, for me. Boat's new name etched truth. From ashes, arise. Year later, Willow Creek thrived, dues voluntary, events free. My bungalow? Hub for block watches, not whispers. Phoenix raced regattas, trophy gleaming. Reflection, intimidation tests metal. Mine was steel. Abuela would beam. Hal? Paroled early, moved away. Rumors of apology note, unread. Slade? Disbarred, selling real estate in Reno. Evelyn? Volunteering, redeeming. Change ripples. My story? Cautionary, inspirational. For competitions? This one's mine, penned in firelight, words as waves. They torched. I triumphed. Epilogue. Dawn on the creek, Phoenix ready. I cast off, wind in hair, heart full. Neighborhood waves from shores reclaimed. The freeze? Thaw complete. Boat gone, but spirit sails eternal. To tyrants, torch if you dare. We'll freeze your fears, end.